think what happened when I first joined social media, I'd always been anti-feminist, and so when I first joined social media, I was talking a lot about how hoe phase is it's not something appropriate for us psychologically. It's very damaging. I spoke a little bit about how being like men is not actually conducive, so on and so forth. And I was just thinking out loud, and I attracted all these followers, and I was really excited at first. I was like, I had all these male followers who was just like, thank you so much for speaking out loud and saying what we've been trying to say. And I was so proud to hold the pillar for men. I was like, oh yeah, I'm so happy to give you a voice. But what I found is the moment I would do a neutral video, or a video that was actually more about just, you know, what men need to do to also make a happy home, they would turn on me, and they would be so critical and so degrading, and all of these things. They're like, oh, you're just a woman, and I bet your body count's like this. And I was like, huh? Where is this coming from? I didn't know that they had this side to them. And it was very reminiscent of the exact kind of comments I would get from the blue-haired feminist, sorry, I meant to say feminist, blue-haired feminist, and people always say, oh, you know, the blue-haired feminists, nobody likes them, and they're just girls that can't get guys, and so they're so bitter. But I found the exact same traits in the red pill community. They were the men that had fake profiles, who clearly had been rejected so much by women that they built up a hatred towards them to minimize the pain that's received when we are rejected. And I just saw that so many similarities between them, that they're actually a perfect match for each other. If you take a feminist and you take a hardcore red pill man, they're actually a perfect match for each other, because they equally dislike the opposite gender, and it stems from a place of rejection. So I would say they're actually very, very compatible. And so that's where I started now getting really against the red pill kind of community. And when I went on Just Pearly Things, I had no intention to argue with her or anything. But what I found very difficult with that conversation is she was so adamant that to teach her to have conversations that had no purpose. So the conversation would be things like, oh, men can survive without women. If we were in a desert island and there was no survival and there was no water, nothing, men would survive longer. And I just thought to myself, what am I gaining from listening to that? What is that doing for me? And it isn't doing anything constructive for me. I don't know how that would be constructive for men. So that's where the altercation started.